Hey, how's it going, guys? It's me, Sibu Fagute again. Thank you so much for joining us on day 5, can you imagine, of the 365-day challenge already. Thank you so much for joining on this journey, and especially for the testimonials that have been coming in. I think these have just reminded me why I'm actually doing what I'm doing. I really believe that we all are blessed to be a blessing, and going beyond that, our passions are for ourselves and to satisfy ourselves, but our purpose, that is our gift to the world, and that is our contribution to the world, and that is entirely for others. And I truly believe that one of my gifts is one of my purpose rather is actually to use my gifts to change and touch lives as much as I can. And one of those gifts is the gift of the gab. Or as my wife would put it, I just talk a lot. But yeah, so I think for me though, just thank you so much for joining once again, and keep those testimonials coming in. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button and let's get this journey going. So as promised, today we're going to be talking about the 5-second rule, a rule that I actually discovered a couple of years ago when I was in a place in my life where I just started noticing that I was hesitating quite a bit, and I just noticed this habit of hesitation in myself. And then someone actually pointed me out to a brilliant author, presenter, speaker, and entrepreneur in the form of Mel Robbins, right? But it wasn't always like that, guys. She actually came from a pretty dark place of, depression and, self-loathing and self-hatred, where her family was falling apart, her marriage was falling apart, she was broke, she was unemployed, and really, really just in a dark place in her life, right? And then just one morning, she decided, when the alarm rang, instead of hitting the snooze button, she literally just counted 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and launched herself out of bed like a rocket, she says. And since that day forth, she just kept on repeating that, and it worked wonders for her, right? So this does sound ridiculous. I'm not gonna question that whatsoever, and she's the first to admit it too. But a best-selling book later, a TED Talk later that went viral, and millions of YouTube views later, and there's no denying it, it works. But why does it actually work, right? It's very, very fascinating, because how did she go from not feeling like doing anything to getting up, launching herself out of bed, and actively starting to look for employment once again, and trying to get herself back out there as well in the industry, and get a career going once again? The science behind it is very fascinating, but for the ordinary guy and girl like you and me, bottom line is she figured out how this trick actually is. It's a simple trick to fool the brain into moving you from how you feel and that hesitation into taking action. Okay? So how it works essentially is that when we hesitate, this sends a stress signal to the brain, right? So by stopping and counting back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she actually you interrupt that stress signal, and you force your brain to start thinking from a completely different part of your brain, which is called the prefrontal cortex, right? And which is primarily, one of its primary functions is responsible for our decision making, okay? So it's brilliant and it's effective. And the best thing about it is you can do it anywhere, right, guys? Literally anywhere and anytime, all right? So you can go from hesitation, hesitating to actually taking action, just by counting backwards 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and moving and taking action. It's proven to work, guys. It's amazing. You gotta give this a shot. And one of the best applications of it as well, that Mel Robbins actually also speaks to, is that it's great for helping with anxiety and depression, guys, because anxiety and depression essentially are a habit of being caught in a habit of negative thinking in your brain, right? Your brain gets caught in a habit of negative thinking. So what the 5-second rule does is, because you're counting backwards rather than counting from 1 to 5, which is a habit, right? But because you're counting backwards, you actually awaken a part of your brain that forces you to actively, consciously think about the counting that you're doing. And this essentially just interrupts that pattern of negative thinking and actually gets you thinking and taking action about what it is that you're thinking about and what you want to take action on. So It's simple as it sounds, guys. As simple as it sounds, it's brilliant and it works. So, for example, going forward, my message to you today, give it a shot as early as tomorrow. If you're in a meeting and you hesitate to ask a question, just pause, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shoot. You know, if you're hesitating to make a call that you need to make, just pause, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take action. You know, or if you, it doesn't really matter, guys. Anything, whenever you find yourself hesitating before doing something you want to do, just interrupt that that stress signal in your brain. Count back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take action. Thank you so much for joining once again, guys. This was another quick one. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. But before you go, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. And thanks again. Join us on this journey. I'll see you guys tomorrow.